Welcome to Project U 2.2, the podcast where life and leadership meet endurance. I'm Greg Helmer, joined by my wife and partner in life and work, Carrie. Each week, we dive deep into the mindset, the neuroscience, and the real grit it takes to stop drifting and start living with clarity, confidence, and endurance. This is about real life, real struggles, and real growth. So lace up, it's time to live with endurance. Carrie's episode this week landed on something many of us feel but rarely say out loud. When we were kids, growth was built into our lives. Teachers pushed us, coaches challenged us, parents set limits, encouraged us, and held the standard, oftentimes for us. We didn't have to wonder if we were growing. It was happening all around us. And then one day, without a ceremony, the world tells us, you are grown now. And that structure quietly disappears. No one checks in. No one sets the next goal. No one asks how we are growing, only how we are performing. And what Carrie named so beautifully is this: growth doesn't stop. It just becomes optional. And when growth becomes optional, most people don't fail, they just stall. That idea sent me back to where I first learned how growth actually works, long before leadership titles, careers, or responsibilities. You see, I grew up on the trails, power lines, sand dunes, the woods, south of the Muskegon River here in Michigan. Places where my body moved and my mind wandered. As a kid, I spent hours riding my dirt bike and then later a four-wheeler up and down those trails and the hills. No clock, no expectations, just freedom and autonomy. One place in particular still lives in my body: Shotgun Hill, a towering sand dune that looked impossible from the bottom. I would hit it wide open, engine screaming, tires digging, and legs braced, heart pounding. And halfway up, the bike would start to bog down, horseflies swarming above, sweat pouring, and that voice would show up. You could turn around right now, but I didn't. And I didn't realize it then, but that moment, again and again, it was training me. Not physically, mentally. I was learning what it felt like to stay with a little bit of discomfort, to keep going when quitting would have been easier, to trust that the climb was doing something to me. Later, when my legs became the motor instead of an engine, I ran on those same trails, miles and miles, alone, thinking, dreaming, training, processing life, wrestling with fear and possibility. Some of the biggest decisions of my life were shaped out there, not because someone told me what to do, but because I had space to actually listen. And here's the connection to Carrie's message. As kids, growth is automatic because structure surrounds us. And as adults, growth has to be intentional or it will fade. Psychology, this is predictable. Our brains are wired for efficiency. Novelty sparks growth, but routine conserves energy. As adults, the brain starts saying, this works. Stay right here. So we build lives that function, but don't necessarily expand. We become good at maintaining, but rusty at becoming and growing. Comfort slowly disguises itself as contentment. And without someone or something challenging us, we drift. Same routines, same thinking, same habits, same version of ourselves, year after year. Carrie talked about freedom, dreaming of soda without sharing, choosing dinner, independence, and she's right. Freedom feels incredible until you realize that freedom without structure can quietly become stagnation. That's why so many capable, intelligent, successful adults feel restless. Not broken, not ungrateful, just under-challenged. Because no one is asking, what are you training for right now? What are you uncomfortable? On purpose? Who is calling you forward instead of letting you coast? In Lead with Endurance, I talk about milestones. Runners don't hope to improve, they train. They log the miles, they welcome discomfort, they receive feedback, there's accountability, coaching. No one accidentally builds endurance. And you know what? Life works the same way. And here's the emotional truth underneath all of this. Most adults don't need more motivation. They need permission. Permission to want more. Permission to admit they've outgrown their current version. Permission to stop pretending that fine is the same as fulfilled. Carrie said working with a coach isn't about needing help. It's about honoring how we were built to grow. And that hit me hard. Because every meaningful season of growth in my life involves someone walking beside me. A coach, a mentor, a guide. As a matter of fact, the last 20 plus years, I've had a professional coach. And that professional coach has helped me with some major professional decisions within the organizations that I work for. And sometimes those coaches allowed me to share some of my personal goals. They were a voice that saw what I couldn't yet see. You see, we don't outgrow that need at age 30 or 40 or 50. We just stop being told it's okay to name it. So if you're listening and thinking, I'm doing fine, but I know there's more, you're not dissatisfied. You are evolving. If you feel a bit restless, that's not failure. That's the next version of you asking to be trained, to be coached. Growth after 30 or 40 isn't about starting over. It's about going deeper, more intentional, more honest. It's about choosing not to drift when no one's watching. And maybe, like me on those trails when I was a kid, you don't need the full map yet. Maybe you just need to keep moving forward, legs burning, flies swarming, heart pounding, trusting that the climb itself is shaping you for what's next. And Carrie remind us that growth is lifelong and that no one of us were meant to do it alone. I believe that with everything in me. So if this stirred something in you, don't ignore it. That nudge matters. The next chapter isn't waiting for permission, it's waiting for commitment. Perhaps it's waiting for you to take the next step to do some coaching, to receive some coaching. This has been Project U 2.2, where we don't quit, we don't coast, and we don't surrender. If today helped, share it with someone who feels capable but quietly stuck. And every Wednesday at 6:22 a.m., Carrie brings the heartbeat of this work, mindset, growth, and the next brave step. Until next time, stay strong, stay real, and keep living with endurance. See you at 6:22.